Howdy, folks. Where have I been with these chickens? What are all these buckets for? What's beneath them? Today I'll answer some of them questions and tell you why. You may wonder why I didn't start over there. Well, I already got the feed, but I'll tell you how much. I got all my chickens together, and I'm feeding them less now than I did before. Now, I got 3/4 of a 2-cup scoop of scratch grains, and I think it's about 1/4 of a scoop of a 2-cup scoop of the land mash. That's in there. It's up to about here. Well, I'll show you. Dad now jokes and says I'm going to get my chickens all liquored up with my sour mash. Well, I've been fermenting my chicken feed for a good month or so now. My reasonings: they're able to get more nutrients. It's a greater bioavailability. It breaks the food down so they can get the nutrients back. And I don't have to feed them as much. I'm feeding all of them, well, it's not a whole lot of difference, but I am feeding them less. And it does take longer, but it's kind of worth it. Alright, so I got it set up on a 3-day ferment. So that's what the 3 buckets are for. I pour the feed in there and make sure, well, then I pour the water in there. I do a 2-week rotation on the water. I use the same water with, over and over for 2 weeks. I'll take y'all with me when I go in there and feed the chickens. It's sort of a process, so cut y'all off. Hey folks. Alright, so I was talking too long and I made it too drawn out and it cut off. So what I do is I get the feed, the mash, and first I pour off, I don't mix it up first, I pour off the excess, all the excess water, so it's easier to do the rest of it. I do that, and I mix it up, and I go through the strainer right here. I think it's about 4 or 5 times it ends up, so I don't fill it up all the way, so I have space to let it drain, shake it a little bit, and also, scrape through it like that. I do that till it's done, and after I've done that, I put it in there 1 scoop at a time. Then I run the water that I strained with the mixture, back through about 3 or 4 times till I end up back in the original bucket, and the bucket that I poured it from is sort of clean. Obviously there's some sediment, but I go till it's relatively clean, because after it I end up getting some sludge in the bottom. It's just the mash that went through the holes the first time. And then this, actually, I normally reuse it, but every 2 weeks I dump it in my compost pile just to help it along, so I don't know if it goes stale. I don't know, just every 2 weeks. I don't want to use it so long. just a good practice. This is just how I do it. You don't have to do it the same way. It takes a whole lot longer, but the chickens, they're able to absorb the nutrients better. It's more bioavailable. The chickens seem to like it. Few things I've noticed, their waste. There's less waste because since it goes through them and they're able to get more from it, that means there's less wasted food particles in their waste, like their poop. It's normally softer than it is before. Whereas if I was feeding them dry grain. And another thing I've noticed is Lucky's, the sounds like the crow or the different noises he makes, some more high pitched. I guess they're higher pitched because he doesn't have the dry grain always going down his throat. You know, I reckon that would make it raspy. And yeah, I feed them less than I normally would. I've also started letting them loose back here in this garden section. It's a safe adventure because it's got field fence all around it, and then 2 strands of barbed wire about a foot above that and a foot apart. So only thing that's missing is something above them, and they're all right. It's where I have my compost, and normally about every Sunday I rake it up into a pile, and this week it's flat. Normally it's not as flat, but it is what it is. They get in there and rake around, get their bugs and worms. They enjoy it. But sometimes I get a real dark egg compared to my other egg. I'll show y'all a picture up here in the pan for breakfast. And those, neither one of them are store-bought. Those are these eggs. Just somebody had a more rich day. They eat the bugs, they eat the flowers and seeds and such. I don't know if y'all can hear Lucky over there, but he's making some noises right here with the compost. But this is what I'm going to pour on it. This is yesterday's. That was the day before. This is the bucket that I had poured into. I'm trying to rinse it out. I mix it up every day. Make sure there's no dry spots. Anyways, just wanted to show it to you. Might show you up in close and personal. Y'all see them bubbles? That's from the fermentation process. This is yesterday's. Now if you do this, make sure it's submerged, and if there's any mold, throw it out. You don't want your chickens eating moldy grain. So move this back, move this over, move this over. All just rinse it up a little bit. You got to be careful on these little buckets. They like to tip over when you pour water in them. I think this is about 2 gallons. Get my grain. Pour it over here in there. Y'all look. I'm probably going to have to put some more water in here. I stir it up. Try and get out the dry spots. Had a little powder stuck in there, so I blew it out. Might need to add some more water, so I'll check on it after it settles and all that. Later on, I'll put my buckets on it and the rocks. See y'all at the compost. Look at what my chickens have done. It's flattened, all raked out. And I'm gonna undo that. Just watch. Look at that. You see where it was, and now you see where it is. I'm gonna come over here and get my ferment water. Go ahead and pour it on there. You see what's left in there still after that time to settle. Go ahead and get this rock over here. Whoops. I'll just fill it up with water and rinse it out again. That right there took me all of about less than 5 minutes. Just been talking to the guy. Remember my chickens, my potential chickens. Wait a minute, I'll check back with y'all. When my chickens go, everything's fine. Meta must have got out in the wind. Anyways, I was talking to the guy. I was texting him, you know, and getting 5 Americana hens and 5 Orpington hens and an Americana rooster, so I can ask some more Americanas. Now the Americanas are they're them Easter egg chickens. They lay different color eggs. He said he'll try and get them by. I mean, not right now, because he's getting ready to go to church, and I've already been. But that means I'll let these chickens into this lot right here, and put them others in that lot right there, the one that they are in. They ought to have plenty to eat up. I gotta just rearrange stuff in here so they got a couple nesting boxes. I gotta kill that red chicken, the old one. But yeah, I need to work on my new coop. But I'll get there when I get there. And they're over there enjoying it. Well, at least she is anyways. Thank you all for watching. This has been fermentation, and I don't know another cool word for like breaking down stuff. Composting. It's not composition, not writing anything. But anyways, thank you all for watching. Like me. If you like what I'm doing, let me know by giving me a thumbs up. If you don't like what I'm doing, let me know by giving me a thumbs down. If you got something to comment on, something to help me, tell me something I need to know, a joke, whatever it is, I thank you for doing it, and I look forward to your comments. Y'all take care now.